Brandon, how did you first get involved with athletic training?
I think I first got involved with athletic training in high school. I was a football player, had injured my knee, and we had an athletic trainer that would come in like once a week to check out injuries, and that's kind of when I got introduced to it. And from that point on, I really, kind of took to it and enjoyed doing it. And from then on, like in college and stuff like that, it just kept growing, and here I am.
Did you have a different goal and aspiration for work growing up before that happened?
It was something in the medical field. Physical therapy was pretty high on there at some point. I wanted to be a cop at one point too, but I think the combination of the athletic side and the population you deal with, as far as the fit, athletic. And motivated population, mixing that with the PT athletic training was perfect.
When you graduated college, how did you get from there to USC Aiken?
When I was at St. Andrews, I had a friend of mine. I made a friend on the baseball team. So working with the baseball team, you tend to make friends. And I was pretty much a grad student intern at St. Andrews under Rob, and I did class and athletic training. That was pretty much it. So a friend of mine who was coming back here to graduate to USC Aiken said, "Hey, this guy Jamie. He's the head athletic trainer there. They got a position open if you're interested." So I said, "Why not?" I applied, and it turned out to be USC Aiken, and I've been here ever since.
So it's been a few years since you've been here.
Yeah.
Did you think that you'd stay at USC Aiken this long?
Not really. I don't know. I guess I never really, put those kind of projections into play just because I was happy here. So it never really occurred to me I got to get out of here or anything like that. And then, the city kind of grows on you. So, 1 year turned into 5, 5 years turns into 10, and 10 years turns into 20. So, but for me, it's a great place to work. I enjoy the people I work with. I enjoy the athletes. The city is great. The location's fantastic. So really, it was never even one of those things like, I want to be somewhere else. Now, if the Packers come calling, I got to go.
Like over the 20 years, I mean, you've had to deal probably with some tough injuries over the years. I mean, is there stuff that even you dread having to deal with?
You're always, you always worry about those catastrophic injuries that you can't really predict. The ACLs, the ankle sprains, things like that. Those aren't typically life-threatening or things like that. But it's the cardiac things or those underlying conditions that get missed on a physical, or the neck injuries. Those kind of things really kind of set you off a little bit, and you want to make sure everything is in place in order to deal with those, effectively and quickly. But, just kind of, you never want to think about it, but you always want to be prepared for it. One of my first experiences was at St. Andrews. That was a kind of like a whoa kind of thing. It was lacrosse, and the athlete, this is when they were using aluminum sticks, and for some reason, I don't know why, but the stick broke. So somebody checked him, and the stick snapped in half, and the sharp half ended up getting embedded into his thigh right near his femoral artery. So that was a lot of blood and a little bit of a, kind of, oh crap moment, because that's something you don't want to just pull out and take him to the hospital. That's something you have to pack in and make sure that that thing doesn't move around and stuff like that. I mean, everything ended up really great, but, you always wonder how you're going to handle, situations like that. And I think every situation is going to be different, even though it's similar. But, kind of dealing with all the blood and stuff like that is like, yeah, didn't bother me, so I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but, now it's just like, nothing. It's easy. So,
You said, you like working with your coworkers and the student athletes. Do you have a couple of your favorite memories with the student athletes sort of since you've been here?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I mean, I don't. I mean, it would be hard to really kind of you know you know pick individual ones. There's so many. I mean, you really there's a connection you get, especially an athlete gets injured. It's really that's a vulnerable time for them, and to kind of be there for them and help them recover and things like that. That's a big deal. So you develop friendships and those kind of things. And I think for me the biggest thing I could say to that is that I love sharing all the moments, the victories, and even the defeats and stuff like that. But to have athletes come back years and years and years after they've already been gone and say, hey, I remember this or I remember that, and you really helped me, or just reaching out for any other question, those kind of things. That's the value. That's the thing I remember most, I think. It's not those moments that we had, it's the moments that, come back.
What drew you to athletics in the first place?
To athletics?
Yeah.
I think it's, I've always loved sports. I've always been an active guy and things like that. I love football, and hockey and those kind of collision sports. So that, having, man, this is going to sound weird, I guess, and maybe a little bit morbid, but I love seeing injuries. I really do. I mean, the Dak Prescott injury was, it's tragic and horrible for him, but it's at the same time kind of neat to see those things happen, which it sounds weird, but there's kind of a really almost artistic, I guess. This is going to get kind of down a rabbit hole maybe, but the human body is amazing, and the things that you can do in athletics and the limits that are pushed, it's just, it's really cool to see that happen and see it, kind of evolve and to kind of be in that arena and up close to it. With athletic training, you're right there. So you get, the best seat in the house. I think that's why I really liked athletics, because it's so dynamic and changing and just, it's powerful and there's a lot of, beauty in it as well. So it's not boring. So
That's true. I was gonna ask why what has made you stick around it for so long, but it sounds like it's
it is an ever changing landscape for us. There's always something new. There's always the thing is you're never the best. You always have room to improve, and if you kind of keep that, you're never going to get bored, because I've always got something to shoot for. I've always got something to get better at, or do better, or learn, or something like that. So that's why for me the job is always kind of exciting still. It doesn't get routine, because I can always try something different, or do better at what I'm already doing. So
makes sense.
You're a little bit more forward-thinking than other schools, it seems like. Do you like being a trendsetter, or is it just one of those things where you're like, hey, this is reaching done, and this is what we're going to go with?
No, I don't. I really don't. Some of my colleagues tease me a lot. Like every year I go to Aiken, there's always something new, or something like that. But I like to know things. I like to learn. I like to make sure that I know as much as I can know about something. And I don't always know that. So, it's a scary thing to kind of move away from the herd, because you don't know if you're right all the time, and that can be a scary thing. But, that's why I like to make sure I've got everything in line and know what I know, and make sure I confirm I know what I know before I start moving forward with something new or something innovative. But it's kind of a scary thing to be the only one doing it, because you get looked at like, what are you doing, or why are you doing that? But if you've got that background to explain why you're doing it, it becomes easy then. But yeah, it's a little bit, it's not a good feeling to be the only one doing it for a while.
What do you think about, did you just find a town that was named after you, so that's why you moved here?
No, it was total coincidence, that my friend Gary said, USC Aiken. I was like, what? Yeah. So I get that question quite a bit too. Is like, you know, you own the town? I'm like, no, I wish.